Hi, I wanted to go over a book I just finished reading, Godzilla, the Half Century War. I never really got into Godzilla. I saw the movies and that were made in the 60s growing up as a kid, on Creature Feature, whatever you call it. And I never really took it seriously, though. And I never really did until about 2015, 2016. My son, Christopher, and I were together. He's the one inherited of the kids. He's the one that inherited the comic book gene. And he actually kind of had to convince me into buying an issue of a miniseries that came out called Godzilla in Hell. And basically, it's a 5-issue miniseries, and that's what it is. Godzilla is in hell, and he's working his way out. And each issue is done by a different creator. It's a handoff to another one, to another one. And with the exception of one of them, I think the third one had some dialogue, but the first issue was written and drawn by James Stokoe. And I was just really amazed at not only his storytelling ability, but just the way he could draw Godzilla and other monsters. It was just fascinating. So I became more a fan of the licensed properties. Some are better than others, but this is a mini series that came out a few years ago. It was collected in this nice hardcover edition. I got it for Chris for his birthday. He gave it to me to read, and it was really hard to put down. It was a lot of fun. So there's a lot of also other matter here, but there's sketches here and all that James Stokoe. And you can tell that James Stokoe is, you'll find out later on more evidence, but he's just a real fan of Godzilla. And so it starts off Japan 1954. And it starts off just about the same time that the original movie starts off. And it starts with this character. He's sent not so much to attack and destroy Godzilla, but try to distract him so people can evacuate. And this is just amazing. Like all this detail and just everything is just done so well. It's some, there's some artists that are born to draw certain types of things. Like some people are born to draw, I think, like horror, or some are just, they have a special niche for superheroes. James Stokoe, I think he can draw anything, but he can draw kaiju like almost nobody else. Maybe Tim Truman is like the only other guy that I think that could draw like a Godzilla at this level. So it just goes over, it starts off the first chapter, 1954, where they're trying to distract the creature. They do, but you just have all this destruction that's just done so well. It's hard to really do that well as well and to keep it to scale. I mean, just that. It just looks really menacing. So what this starts off is that this starts a 50-year, it's like almost like a Moby Dick kind of thing, where he's just part of a team that is trying to contain Godzilla, trying to destroy Godzilla over 50 years. The next chapter is Vietnam, 1967. It's kind of interesting how they have them and the underlying story why the monsters and, not only Godzilla, but the other kaiju are in certain areas, certain times becomes apparent. I'm not going to spoil it, but just, let me see if I can find a page here. Just this right here is just, again, really well done. This is like the movie that we all deserve. It's just great. We all deserve, but we don't get. Although I like Shin Godzilla, the Japanese movie that came out in 2016, I believe. I like that quite a bit. I need to rewatch it. Then it goes into Ghana, 1975. And this character that's chasing him, he gets older and older and more bitter. And his relationship with Godzilla changes over time. And then the fourth chapter is Bombay, 1987. And it's just amazing. It's just really well done. I mean, the level of craft here just to do all this and all this detail, it's just off the charts. And then the end is what they call 2002, the end of the world. And it's the end of the world because by the actions of one of the, I wouldn't say a villain, but kind of like a recurring villain, other kaiju are brought into the world. Like for instance, in this fourth issue, and they also bring in other heroes too. So in this issue, Space Godzilla comes in, and this is just really cool. And so in 2002, there are other kaiju from other worlds that have come here. And here you have Ghidorah, you know, and then you have I'm gonna mispronounce his name, so I'm not gonna do it. But you have him here. He's like surfing on a battleship. Just the scale is amazing. And they have a battle, and then in this battle, you also have a Mecha Godzilla that they've created, sort of like the idea I've seen where, you know, humans actually create a battle suit to fight the kaiju. It's just the details amazing. And then at the end, you know, I mean, this panel's these two pitch spreads off the charts. Just amazing. And just so good. And then you think, oh, everybody's, you know, the guy sacrificed himself, and everybody sacrificed himself to save them, you know, save the world and all that. And at the end, Godzilla always returns. Now, what makes this really interesting too is that you have the regular and variant covers here included, and they're just really good work. Brandon Graham does a variant cover here. Just some interesting work by different creators. And then here you have these afterthoughts, which are like DVD commentary. A lot of pretty interesting notes as to his approach, how he drew things, how he tried to scope out the writing. It's pretty interesting. You can tell that he's a real fan of the project and he took it really seriously. So it's really cool to read. It adds a lot. And but you know, at the end he can also tell he's a fan, because like he says, like he shows here and he's like, the thing you need to realize about Space Godzilla is that he's a Godzilla from space. And that's it's funny, but it's true, you know. And it's just a really great book. If you're a Godzilla fan, you're a fan of the property. I haven't been a real fan of some of the books that have come out lately. I'm hoping that IDW, to me, in my opinion, they seem to have lost the license for a while. But if you like this book and you like the work and you like the character and all that, and if you haven't read it, you may want to pick this up, because like I said, this is like the crazy, epic, wild Godzilla story that all the fans really want. But for one reason or another, nobody can really deliver. They try. They focus too much on the people, or they focus too much on the monsters and not enough on the story. And it's a shame. But if you're a fan and you can only get one Godzilla comic, this is the comic you get. You'll read this and you just will love. It'll remind you why you like this character so much. So anyway, it's out by IDW. The retail is $29.99. I got it for less, but great book. Anyway, thanks.